The poor man's Palworld knockoff known as Pokemon Legends ZA proves what most people already knew, and that is that Nintendo does not care in the slightest. They don't care about the fans, they don't care about the games, they don't care about anything but making a quick buck. And they chose to do it by absolutely AI slopping to the max. This game is gonna be written in the history books as the reason why AI was given abortion protection rights, because some projects are just not worth it to do even for AI. This thing is legendary levels of bad. Fans hate it, and if you can refund it, then I sincerely suggest that you actually refund this absolutely borderline defective, completely unplayable product. It is not good, it is nothing.
Do you guys want to know a secret? Nintendo and the Pokemon Company think we are stupid. That's how they've been treating gamers for the better part of a decade, and honestly, we're sick of it. Pokemon Legends ZA was the final straw for a lot of you, and for good reason. Gamers are sick and
Now, granted, that sounds all fine, well, and dandy, but the Pokemon Super stands that literally don't care about anything are still massive. I looked at YouTube, and you know what I saw involving Pokemon Legends ZA? I didn't see a lot of negativity. I saw a lot of people being like, oh, this is not a big deal. Oh, this is gonna be fine. They're gonna fix this. The next game's gonna be better. Yeah, the same stuff that people said 5 games ago. It never changes. There are Pokemon fans that literally could not care less. They would buy a used Pikachu sticker if it was originally from Nintendo for $200 in bulk if they could. Some people just literally do not care. They are Pokemon fans first, logic maybe fifth.
tired of wasting their hard-earned money time and time again on lazy slop. You see, 3 months ago I was gaslit into oblivion by the Pokemon community, and I have never felt more vindicated. When the first trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA came out, quite frankly, it looked horrible. You knew it, I knew it,
Yes, yeah, obviously. Modern day game. Cardboard cutout buildings, and it's blatantly visible. This is like 620p right here at its finest. Graphics kind of worse in ways than PlayStation 2 era, which is insane. It's the modern day. Like, how is any of this possible? How are people defending this?
everyone knew it, and yet my video discussing this obvious reality was bombarded with hate comments from so-called Pokemon fans. But here's the thing, now that the game has been out for a couple
Hey, if you don't drink the Kool-Aid, are you a real Pokemon fan? No, obviously not.
of days, it's actually so much worse than I originally thought. Not only that, but the game is apparently selling worse than expected, and the gaming community at large is finally seeing Pokemon for what it really is. So today we're gonna do a deep dive into Pokemon Legends ZA to find out just how bad it actually is. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Tiger came to say hi. She says you guys have to like the video because there's gonna be a lot of Pokemon glazers down there leaving dislikes, and you gotta help me fight them off. Okay, let's start with the obvious here.
There are definitely not enough people talking negatively about Pokemon. Pokemon is this some kind of sacred cow thing in the gaming sphere where you're just not allowed to talk about negatively about it. Now, granted, I get away with it because I mostly talk negative about most things. But still, Pokemon fans need to wake up. They need to understand that a lot of things Pokemon are fucking garbage. Like, look at the franchise. You have literally ice cream cones being Pokemon. You have cubes that are named Cumon. No, that sounds Digimon. I don't know, I'm making stuff up, but that's probably not far from reality. You have a branch and a rope, and together they create Nusomon. It is insane. That would be kind of based if they did. They don't. But, you know, it is insane. We're pretty much at the point where we have household objects becoming Pokemon because this franchise is just absolutely so goddamn dead.
The Metacritic and OpenCritic reviews are finally in, and as I expected, as everyone expected, the critics lied. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but there's just absolutely no way that you get such a massive disparity.
They always lie. But the user score is, I think, the worst part of this. Because if you look at any of the Metacritic or any other open scores, there are a ton of 10s that are literally like, they're not bots. The worst part is they're not bots. They're actual people who are super Pokemon fans, and they're like, no, this is a 10 out of 10. All of you are haters. It's not actually that bad. Well, they can't even log in and play the game.
Between the critics and the actual users, the actual gamers who play these games, either thousands of people are lying, or these 61 people have a financial incentive to tell you that everything is fine. That way your childhood nostalgia is positively reinforced and you feel good, warm, and fuzzy inside. And this isn't breaking news, right? I mean, gaming critics and gaming journalists have been missing the mark for a decade at this point. They are often out of touch with what gamers actually find.
Listen, the only thing that I find good about Pokemon Legends ZA is high tie stocks. Wink wink. And let's be completely honest. How many hours away are we before Nintendo removes that and replaces it with something ugly? Yeah, probably not fun. Anyone remember what happened with Pokemon Go? How one day they decided, you know what? People that don't look like trash don't deserve to create avatars. So now everyone's ugly. Ah, what a great time to be alive.
Enjoyable, which is why their relevance over the last 10 or 15 years has gone down dramatically. So while in my previous video about this game, I talked about how the game got about.
Also, boys, that does not honestly matter. You know what matters? Which Pokemon you would eat first if you could. Man, there are so many great choices. I personally would go for seafood. I think I would personally go for seafood or some kind of rare exotic. A legendary's meat would probably be super good. So I'm kind of tossed between eating a legendary or eating some seafood Pokemon. What is your favorite Pokemon to try and eat if they ever were, if that was ever a possibility? Don't be shy. Also, boys, like the video right now, hyped up on a mobile device. It takes less than a second and it greatly helps the channel. So thank you everyone who does it. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It actually has an impact, so thank you, everyone. And if you think that this is important and Pokemon fans are insane, then definitely like the video right now, hype it up if you're on a mobile device, and thank you.
An 8 out of 10 here on Metacritic. The users strongly disagree with that, and it is overwhelmingly obvious that this game is not a good game from anyone who plays it or watches the trailer or even looks at posts about this game. You see posts like this on Twitter, people saying, does anyone who bought Legends ZA regret buying it? Most of the negativity I see is from people who haven't played it, and I'm wondering if it's worth getting as a longtime Pokemon enjoyer. But it's like, I don't have to drink gasoline to know it's gonna taste bad, right? I mean, like, what do we talk?
Well, first of all, we are living in a time period where probably that would be a pre-requirement to judge anything. Again, remember that stupid video? I actually did a debunk on that one, where the first guy who started all of this shit made a video about Freeran demons are actually good, or whatever it was called. That one, yes. That conversation is still out. You have people who have such low media literacy. They literally are making posts about Himmel and Superman being the same because Himmel would never kill a demon. Bro! It's on like the 20th chapter and Himmel just does it because he understands that they are evil. It is insane. Okay? Some people will never be capable of thinking for their own, and some people will never be able to be negative about things. In general, I think if you are incapable of being negative about anything at all in general, and negativity just completely turns you off, and you think it's the worst thing ever, I think that's an extreme sign of low IQ. I mean, it literally is an extreme sign of low IQ. Especially when someone says, "Well, how do you know? You haven't played it, bro. Am I supposed to not? No, am I not able to create conjectures with my eyes and the stuff that I see from trailers?"
Talking about, if it looks like dookie, it smells like dookie, it sounds like someone's taking a dookie, I mean, it's probably dookie. Why must we suspend our logic in order to arrive at conclusions? Look, I understand that video games are subjective, right? But at a certain point, when you are wrestling against an overwhelmingly obvious reality, you have to understand that there are certain things that are in fact measurable. There are certain objective realities about games, music, movies, any form of art. Some things are simply undeniable. And if we take a look at the open critic reviews, we'll find the exact same trend. We have a 40 player rating, which is even lower than the 4.6 on Metacritic. And I think the game being so obviously bad to the consumer is one of the reasons why early sales reports are showing that the game is not selling as well as expected. We're going to go over that later in the video, but for those that are
I love these companies, by the way. The sales expectancies of companies are the only thing that I have found that they don't lie about. Lying about budget, completely legal. There's no legal reprehensions to that, by the way. Everyone does it. Lying about player count by saying, well, our game has been enjoyed by 100 billion nanoseconds. Yeah, very impressive. The only thing that these companies do not lie about is expected sales. I don't know why they don't lie about this. Why they but that's the only thing that I have found that these companies don't lie about. And if you have been paying attention to expected sales, then you know how absolutely insane the industry has gotten. By the way, all of them are expecting. I mean, literally billions. Borderlands 4 is I don't know, is expecting like 100 million active players monthly. The game's already dead in a month. Battlefield 6 is expected like 3 times more players than they actually got. These companies expect insanity. And the fact that Nintendo unironically makes such insane AI slop as Pokemon Legends as EA. And then they're like, oh, I wonder why the sales are not as great as we expected. It's like insanity.
aren't convinced that
This is why they needed to sue Palworld. Otherwise they have competition. Otherwise people can see how actually bad Pokemon is in a comparison.
game is actually garbage. Like, it is. I need to be very clear here. This is not hyperbolic. This is actually the reality. This is slop content. This is actually bad. If you don't want to believe me, you don't want to believe the reviews, let's just look at some of these posts that I'm seeing over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It's just at a certain point when you start to see hundreds or thousands of posts like this, the truth just it has to surface.
I think the game is fully AI generated, by the way. I think there's barely anything that's not AI generated.
The truth eventually comes to light. You can't ignore reality forever, and I think a lot of Pokemon fans are finally starting to wake up to that reality. Let's take a look here. This is a VR chat map. This is what one person said on Twitter. They said Legends EA is fun so far, but it genuinely feels like I've been running around BM_big city for 10 hours. This is an actual in-game screenshot, and I honestly can't tell if it's on the Switch or
this is not even the worst of it. There are places where the AI just accidentally mishmashes two kinds of textures. And I mean, you can get literally this, but there's a brick wall here for some reason. You can get stuff like that.
Switch 2, because if you guys watched my recent video about this, you'll know that the games are very similar on both, besides the 60.
Also, by the way, is this a door? No, it's not a door, but it kind of looks like a door.
Frames per second. That is the biggest upgrade, but look at this, man. The walls here are about as flat as the Windows 3D Maze screensaver.
Boy, don't you talk bad about this one. This one was BIS.
From like 1999. There is literally just a painted texture on two-dimensional assets. That is literally all this is. The artwork on the walls here are two-dimensional for almost every building. Not every building, but almost every building looks just like this. Not only are the windows painted on, not only are the balconies painted on, not only are the walls themselves just a painted texture, but where they meet the ground is just a right angle. There is absolutely no work that was put in here. It's horrible. It's actually just horrible. Let's take a look.
Oi, AI tried really hard to make that.
Look at another example here. Pokemon Legends EA, a $70 game, by the way, features a cardboard cutout with windows and flowers. I mean, look at this, man. This is on the Switch too. The flowers are quite literally two-dimensional. It is so insane to me that this is a game from 2025. Like, this, unironically, with a few tweaks, you probably could get this to run on the Wii or maybe even the GameCube. Like, maybe if it didn't load the entire fucking map as one asset, obviously, but my point is, this is unoptimized garbage. Like, objectively, again, we're not even this is not even my opinion. Like, you don't even need to understand video games to look at this and be like, wow, this game looks really old. This Twitter user goes, why are people complaining about the graphics? What a beautiful game. And then links,
God, what a you see what I mean? These are the super fans. They just lie.
4 pictures of women in the game. So I mean, whom are confirmed, I guess. I don't really know, but this was the perfect clapback, maybe because this is what we got 20 years ago on the friggin' PS2. Just a thought, guys. I mean, what are we even talking about, man? Like, it is actually insane that we can legitimately, no hyperbole, no funny business, no cherry picking, you can actually find multiple games from 20 years ago that look comparable to Legends EA, which came out 4 days.
You can actually say, arguably, maybe this, technically, by the way, all of this is weaker than this. But doesn't this feel like there's a little bit more soul? The Pokemon stuff is truly just kinda gooner tier, and there's not much else going for it. This has soul. This has soul. These things look like they have personalities.
Ago in 20
these things look hollow.
2025. What's that you say? Oh, this is just cherry picked screenshots. Let's actually see a video of the gameplay. All right, fine. Let's take a look as he walks down this two-dimensional
Oh my god, the textures are not loading, and you could see actually a pop in here also. Look at this.
Fine, let's take a
look at that distance of popping.
Look as he walks down this two-dimensional corridor. The textures are blurry. They don't even load in on the buildings. And then he
beautiful
falls through the freaking ground, dude. What is this? What actually, like, how is it possible that there are still Pokemon fans that are, this is the hill you're dying on? This is actually, really, this is the hill you're dying on? This is what you're gonna defend, right? Like, how many games in a row have to be lazy slop garbage before the Pokemon community just admits it? Just admit it, okay? You can like the game. I'm not saying you can't like it, but you have to admit it's not good, right? Like, it is conventionally a bad game. Can we just start there, right? You're allowed to like it, you're allowed to buy it, whatever you want to do, that's fine, but can we just agree on this very basic, obvious, perceivable reality that this game is lazy slop? That is all this is. There's more examples, by the way.
No, the Pokemon fans said no, this is perfection.
Like, all you have to do is go anywhere on the internet where people can share content, and you're going to realize that this is commonplace. Like, the game is buggy, the game is broken, it looks bad, it is objectively not a well-built or designed game, period. I mean, it's again, this is look at him, he's laughing because it's garbage. Like, it's actually so bad that it's funny. Like, this is the type of game that you have to hate play. Like, you have to buy it specifically to hate play it. Now let me just say one thing very quick on that point, okay? Do not buy this game. Do not buy this game brand new. If you're going to hate play Pokemon Legends ZA, which I do encourage, by the way, I might do it in the future, you definitely must buy this game used. Do not, I'm begging you, brother, I am begging you for the future of the franchise, do not buy this game brand new. Do not give Nintendo and the Pokemon Company another sale for their financial reports, okay? Buy the game used. It's gonna be easy to get used because the game is garbage. People are going to resell it in a couple of weeks. I promise you that will be the case, okay? By the way, this is what Pokemon X and Y looked like, which is like the original games that Legends EA is based off of. I mean, right? I mean, X, Y, Z, A, right? Like A, it starts over from the beginning. You understand? A little funny little game that they played there with the name, okay? Now, obviously, there's no anti-aliasing. This game is for the 3DS and it came out in 2013. So, like, obviously, it's not apples to oranges, but when we're...
Wait. Even for 2013, this is not exactly great, by the way, as we already know. Again, all the Pokemon games have been criminally underperforming, undercooked, and under everything.
We're talking about 3D models, okay? At least this building is three-dimensional. Can we at least agree on that? At least it had that. And you can even see, like, I think this is the Pokemon Center over here. It actually has an awning. That's right, a 3D protrusion out of the side of the building, which is not something you see very often.
Now, everything in the world can't be 3D, okay? That's what 3D, what's it called? Conspiracists are gonna tell you. No, the world is not 3D, okay?
In Pokemon Legends ZA, because all the buildings just have two-dimensional textures painted on them. More users go on to say, bruh, the Pokemon Legends ZA map is way the fuck smaller than I was expecting, like pathetically small. It's almost insulting. Some users reporting that you can even run from one end of the map to the other in like 7 minutes or less. That's right, you heard me.
Dude, that is insane. In World of Warcraft, running from one side to the other takes like an hour or something.
Right, you can run from point A to point B across the entirety of the map in like 7 minutes. Now try to do that in any game from a decade ago and you're gonna realize how insanely small that is. Like, we're talking Oblivion, we're talking Skyrim, we're talking Fable 2, we're talking about The Witcher. Like, dude, it's actually crazy how
Technically, actually, in Skyrim, that's not that hard. But, I mean, no one cares about the fact that you can do it fast in a good game, to be honest. Because there's going to be stuff that you want to do in the game.
Small this map legitimately is. It's so sad. And this is what I meant earlier when I said a lot of you guys are starting to wake up to this, because there are posts like this. Pokemon fans, they are legitimately selling you slop, are fully aware of it, and maximizing profits into this sun. Former Nintendo employees claim Pokemon Legends ZA only needs to sell 200,000 units to break even. What this means, okay, for those of you that don't understand business at all, okay, they have put such little money invested into this game, like a microscopic
Yes, that's literally, by the way, 1.4 million. That is not a lot.
Water drops amount of effort into this thing, so that way they don't need it to sell a lot of units.
200k units times 70, 1.4 million, and I think they're selling it on their own platform. I'm not sure where they're selling it, but I'm pretty. By the way, I think they don't have to give a share to any third parties when they make sales. But imagine if they do. Imagine if this was on Steam and Steam takes their sweet 30-40% and they say, oh, we only need to sell 200. That would mean that the budget, by the way, is smaller than 900,000. If this was on Steam.
But
I mean, still, a 1.4 million tops budget for a game like this is insanely non-existent. This is literally just pure 100% AI. I want, by the way, someone to get like a top-down map perspective of the game and compared to which two games on one game it's actually a ripoff of. Because that must have happened. they must have used AI, and they must have used AI from a previous game as an inspiration for the AI to do things. So the map should actually be identical to things that have already existed in Pokemon games. That's what that's what I think is happening here.
And that's the part that should drive you insane. They are intentionally not making a good product. They have 30 years worth of data that suggests Pokemon will sell tens of millions of units, and at this point they are just min-maxing their profits. They are just trying to see with how little they can get away with and still charge you top dollar. This is a $70 game with $30.
By the way, keep in mind, this is a Japanese company we're talking about, okay? They could have easily forced their own workers to stay in the building until the game is finished for years, and it would have been fine. But no, they still chose to use AI. It is insane.
Day one DLC, 30, bro, 30. This is a $100 game, and that's not even accounting for the fact that if you want like Mega Greninja, you're gonna have to pay for Nintendo Online. Over $100 for this complete game, and you can download Genshin Impact today and get a better experience. I'm not sponsored.
I mean, this is, by the way, literally 3.5 Silk songs. 3.5 Silk songs for this. Does that sound like value to you? No, absolutely no. This is 1.5 for Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalons. This is not even close. This is 7 megabonks. This is one Godzilla -1. It's not even close. No, actually, no, wait. This is 7 Godzillas -1. Or how much was the Godzilla's budget? Oh, no. It was more than that. In any case, like, this is not value for your money. You have so many games currently that are just 15 times better at minimum than this, and they cost, in some cases, literally 1/7 of this garbage. It is not even close. And again, the Pokemon community is just gonna defend this. Anyway, that was Omni Arc TV, 10 out of 10. Bye!